Everybody, we are live. Welcome back to the Big Three, where we talk about the issues that are impacting our world. So glad that everyone could join us. We have a big show, so we're going to just jump right in. We start off right here. We got Contessa is saying she is here. Hello, we ready to go. We got here Citizen Morgan. She's here, ready to go. And Bradley was like, look, I missed you last week, but I'm here today. And you caught us starting right on time. 10 o'clock. Can we get an amen for being
2 weeks
timely
in a
and
row, 2 weeks in a
I
row, baby.
know.
we're getting there. It's episode. We have done it. It's 19 weeks, 19 episodes. We are getting there. We are getting there. So, yeah, but we miss you. So here's the thing. When you can't make the regular show, that's okay. Like, we want you here. It helps us, definitely comment, like, share, subscribe to all three of us if you haven't already done so. But you also can watch us anytime during the week under the live tab. So you can go to my page, Kenny page, or Tiffany's page, and you click live, and then you're able to see right there and right there the episode anytime in the week, and also share with friends throughout the week. So look, we got a big show. Y'all ready to just jump right in, because we're gonna start right off and talk about breaking news, and that the Texas House has passed the Texas House has passed their redistricting maps. Did you guys? What do you think about it? Like, there was a lot of discussion, a lot of fight, a lot of moving in pieces, and
It was bound to happen. Look, it was bound to happen. We already knew it was going to happen. But luckily, I mean, Tiff did share in our group chat that that California is moving forward, and the Supreme Court allowed or did not allow Republicans to challenge them moving forward to putting the initiative on the ballot. So that's one good news. But the other thing is, I just need everybody to simmer the fuck down and calm the hell down, because I know a lot of people are sitting here saying, well, why the hell did they go back? Or what's this and that and the other? They literally held a black woman captive. And I didn't see any of these thug ass people sitting here talking about, this is performative, or, this is this and this is that. But y'all didn't pull the fuck up to try to release this black woman who's being held captive in the chamber. So y'all got all this damn smoke and y'all rah, 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 but y'all wasn't rah, rah, rah when Nicole Collier was literally being held captive, being kidnapped right there, live streaming, being kidnapped, and wouldn't be able to allow to leave the building without signing a permission slip.
Can't goddamn go to the bathroom by her motherfucker. Can't even go to
I know. It was some bullshit. I'm like, oh my God. So y'all are sitting here talking about how y'all are the Viva Resistance, Viva la Resistance, whatever y'all want to call it. But y'all have not revoluted. Y'all haven't done shit. Just run y'all fucking mouth. But all of this was easily preventable if y'all actually showed up to the damn polls. And now we have to vote like we never voted before. Because now, how the hell are we going to, overcome, especially in these midterms and stuff like that, where it's already historically low? How are we going to overcome voter turnout and be able to overdo this gerrymandering that's happening in Texas? And we are going to lose some seats. We are going to. We're going to lose more black congressional seats. That's just a fact. The math isn't not on our side, you guys.
We're gonna lose seats. We are going to lose seats but we may not lose seats, right? We have got to, number one, not underestimate the power of the voters. The Republican Party are. I firmly believe that they are underestimating the power of the voters, and they're underestimating the power of the resistance and how we can resist. And I want us to talk about that just a little bit tonight, because I really do feel I'm actually going this week feeling very, very hopeful. The things that I've seen this week give me hope. We're going to talk about Elise Stefanik being booed. We're going to talk about JD Vance getting booed. We're going to talk about Maggie Haberman being booed. We're going to talk about how that happened. But the Republicans are assuming that people are going to vote Republican because they've always voted Republican, and they're underestimating the anger in the American population around the economy. They're underestimating the fact that these people in Texas are actually living through an economic recession, and no one's wanting to call a recession, but they're living through it. These people depend on beef prices. These people depend on their income and making money from agriculture. They're losing money, and they fucking know they're losing money because of Donald Trump. I believe believe that we may be surprised in how voters turn out to vote in 2026, regardless of what they do and play around with the maps in Republican states that are being gerrymandered. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be giving them too much faith. And I actually am someone who never has done that before. But I'm seeing just so much anger around these policies, and people are actually giving the blame to the Republicans that they should. The problem is that Democrats aren't doing it. Kenny, your motherfucking friend, Kevin
Every week.
now.
Every week.
Who now?
your motherfucking friend, Kevin Ortegas. Now, again, I just called out the fact that Maggie Haberman was booed in Wyoming. I just called out the fact that Elise Stefanik was booed in New York. I just called out the fact that JD Vance and Pete Hegseth were booed in DC. Yet when I go to his page, he focused on one of my favorite members of Congress, fellow Scorpio, and extremely handsome gentleman, Representative Wesley Bell, being booed because of donations of APAC. That was his motherfucking focus. So all these Republicans being booed, all these white people being booed, but you focus and target on the black man, which is what his page always does. He always hones in and zeroes in on anything that is anti-black Democrat, no matter what.
Look,
why you always gotta be Kenny's friend, though?
Child. Look,
Because
look.
it's Kenny's fucking
Control
friend.
people's pages.
That's Kenny's fucking friend.
That is my friend. That is my mutual. But just because somebody has their own personal views doesn't mean I'll always agree with everything that they do and everything that they say. Okay, people got to have their own point of view. People got to be able to be their own individual. So there's that. But Tiff, your eye.
Good Lord of mercy. Okay, so I wrote a Substack this week, and I kind of talked through this point by point of what we need to do. And one of the things I said is that we have to match energy. And I think that is what is lacking and what has been lacking for the last 7 months. There's other things, but specifically that, right? We have really not had Democrats match energy. And that's what the people want. This is what the people want. The people want the energy to be matched. So we need our leaders to match the energy. And unfortunately, we've seen Jasmine, she matches energy, but she doesn't have any power. She's only one of 212 that are now in the Congress, right? So she can only do but so much. There's others, Robert Garcia, others who have brought the energy. But we needed somebody that had the power. And that one person who had the power to make this happen was Gavin Newsom. And so I said, so what happened was the Texas Dems, they brought the energy. Gavin Newsom said, okay, well, let me match energy for energy. And I'm going to get all these folks in my state to rally around doing something. We saw they had the press conference last week. My man, Isaac Bryan, came out. He was on fire. The people in California fed off of the Texas folks' energy. And the voters and the people, whether you're a Democrat or independent, you can feed off of it. I even saw the most contrarian, which is Charlamagne God. Even that fool was saying that he liked the energy. I saw other people that are typically negative, to your point, Zach, people that are typically negative, say stupid stuff. Even they were recognizing that Newsom was matching the energy. Take it for what it is, but the people want to fight fire with fire. And that's what was missing. So Gavin Newsom, I know people want to talk about 2028. Kenny, you, me, Zach, we all made videos. We don't care about 2028. This is about
newsflash.
This 2025.
We don't do what we need to do.
Yeah, this is about 2025
things to
and
happen
2026.
that 2028 even occurs, right?
Exactly. We got to go one step at a time. So this is where we are. And so I would say to people that are saying, hey, this is what I also wrote this in my Substack about expectations. I think we have to acknowledge that there are certain people that are in the House that are not going to give you what you need, right? Chuck Schumer is never gonna give us what we need in terms of energy. So don't look towards him for that. Look for him. He has a whole nother fight that has to come up in the next couple of weeks, which is going to be on the budget. Let him focus on that shit. Okay.
Tiffany jumped so far ahead in the show.
Sorry.
But it's not a problem because it's not like I shared the damn show. So hell, I didn't set the damn agenda in terms of like how it was gonna flow. So Kenny says, Tiffany, what do you think to take the heat off his ass because I'm roasting his damn friend Kevin Ortegas of Here's Why I fucking Kevin on IG. Love him. I know y'all love him. Everybody follow that motherfucker, but you don't see the patterns. You don't see the patterns. I see the patterns. I see the patterns. I know
He's
when
not getting over this.
I know the patterns. I see them. I see them. And so Kenny says, get this heat off me. Gave it to Tiffany. Tiffany says, let's talk about California. We're going to California. And people are even in the comments. You guys are really good because literally you're going to see Callie, who needs to come over and watch us on fucking YouTube. You're literally going to see the clip. I have the clip. I'm going to show you the clip in a moment of Morning Joe crying with his stupid ass. But
what happened with Morning Joe? Y'all still watching MSNBC?
You want to skip? Kenny want to skip again? You want to just skip it? We getting there. But I just want to give a moment. And again, I think Kenny hit a wonderful point when he talked about people not standing with her. I'm gonna be honest with you. All of it, I'm just thankful for the Texas Democrats and the sacrifices they made. I believe all of us should do what we can to make a donation, perhaps, to these really strong Democrats that did the interviews, that went public, that like stayed the course. Representative Nicole Collier deserves a donation from us people. So if you haven't donated, donate to her reelection campaign. Republicans are going to come at these people with everything they've got because they're angry and their little bitty egos are bruised because all they have are egos. You know they ain't got no schmeat. You know that Ken Paxton ain't got no schmeat. You know that. And then it don't work for some. I'm not going to say his name and I'm not going to say why. Now, when you look at and talk about Representative Collier, I do want to highlight somebody who stood in the gaps because oftentimes we don't highlight the work of allies.
Yes,
I want everyone to see what Representative Ann Johnson of.
Hold on, Zach. We can't hear you.
Zach accidentally muted.
Still can't hear you. I don't know what happened.
You know, we just can't have shit.
Yeah. I was like, is it me? Is it me?
No.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, it wasn't muted. It just, stopped working. And so I want to highlight and I want everyone to see what Representative Ann Johnson of the Texas Congressional District 134, which includes a portion of Houston, had to say. This is what we need to see from allies. This is what it is. This is allyship.
About racism. And if you can't hear it from them, then hear it from me. As a white woman and a daughter of a man of privilege and power, he knew that his strength was to bring people that didn't look like him to the table of government. And so 50 years later, after Barbara Jordan, aided by white people to have a voice, the first woman of color elected to the South, a woman who sat in the impeachment of Nixon, a woman who said that finally, after amendment, debate, and vote, I am finally part of we the people. To stand here as a 50-year-old woman and know that we now go back in time. So let's talk about cowardice and cheats. Because if you knew you could win this next election, you wouldn't be taking this effort to try to steal 5 seats from elected officials that members of color elected to represent them in Washington, D.C. You wouldn't be doing everything you can to take this coalition of diversity and stand up at the mic and say, why are we doing this? Because we can. And you shield your racism with your party, with ignorance and arrogance, to come up here and say, to be honest with you, I haven't read the bill from the other side. To be honest with you, I haven't talked to the lawyers to be bringing this before. Because you think that people will give you grace on ignorance and arrogance around party because you can't admit that the root of all of this is about racism and power. A power grab. A pure power grab. And so I'm going to ask, don't shake your head. Because I'm going to give you a moment to prove what you mean behind that. Because when Donald Trump called Georgia Republicans and said, hey, boys, I need you to steal me almost 12,000 votes. To those men credit, they said, no, sir. We already know what Governor Abbott said. In a few minutes, we're going to find out what y'all say. Vote no on this bill.
Now that was it.
I loved it.
That was damn it.
She dropped the
Killed it.
damn mic. She burnt the fucking damn house down. Okay, she was giving it to us raw because that's what we need. We need people to flex out their
No lube.
privilege and be able, because when we're talking about breaking down racism, this isn't a job that's on the hands of minorities and other marginalized communities because we didn't create it. It's
That's right.
really going to take true allies to really have those hard conversations with their own, family members, with people who are their peers. They have to have these hard conversations because we can't. We
That
cannot.
is. Let's say it again.
That
Say it
we did
again.
not create. Why are we in? They're not looking to hear from us because they don't even see us as human beings. So why would they even
cannot
care about
fix
what
racism.
we feel?
We can't end racism because we don't benefit from it. We don't perpetuate it. We don't benefit. Only white people can end racism. And that's the only chance. That's the only hope we have of that happening. And I think that, Kenny, when you said, I think you just made a great point. It fell out of my head. You made a great point. It fell out. I don't know what it was, but it was a good point. Here's another question, kind of queuing up, going back to Newsom, because I know we back to Newsom. We are loving what we are seeing from Gavin in terms of tweeting and different things, but the right they've caught on, and they're beginning the process of tearing him down and deconstructing him. I found out tonight that in Spanish language channels, on Spanish language social media and WhatsApp and different things that a number of Hispanic people and Latinos use across the country for news, they actually have created like AI people to spread misinformation about Gavin Newsom. So that's happening. And I saw a number of people, including your friend from Morning Joe, say this.
The Democrats are trying to find their footing, and it's quite embarrassing, actually. I mean, Gavin Newsom, have you seen what he's doing online? And just take a deep breath. Don't try to turn the ship 180 degrees and they don't know what to do. I have a good idea. Instead of trying to make school Donald Trump, about affordability, about making groceries more affordable. Talk about what you're going to do for housing. Talk about what you're going to do for energy prices that continue.
Oh, my bad.
To go up. We heard the Democrats are trying to.
Oh, you know what? I stopped it there because I fucked it up and I forgot to edit it. But anyway, you get the goddamn point, man. You get the point.
So wait, is he calling on Democrats to talk about making things affordable?
Yes.
How the fuck are we supposed to do that?
What Morning Joe just said, what Morning Joe said his ass. I have not watched this bullshit since MSNBC decided to attack Joe Biden. I started hashtag and turned off MSNBC and I ain't turned that shit back on. But what is this man's name, Joe? What the fuck? What's Joe Scarborough? Joe Scarborough is literally saying that Gavin is sitting here trolling Trump. What a fucking waste of time. And that is going to resonate with older Americans. And I'm saying to all of us, we know that what Gavin Newsom is doing is brilliant social media work. We cannot let that narrative take hold. We need to tear it down now. We need to continue to uplift it, continue to highlight it because it's having an impact on the American people. It's funny. And so because they know what to do. Republicans did this shit with Kamala. When Kamala jumped out the gate with a strong social media game, Republicans were caught off guard and they didn't know what to do. And so they waited and then they started seeing how to attack it. Well, let's attack Meg Thee Stallion in twerking. Let's attack Brat. What the fuck is Brat? We don't know what Brat is. Let's attack Brat. Like they started to attack the things that had caught fire with Gen Z and younger voters. And they're doing the same thing to Gavin and we can't let it happen. And they're using the vehicles of motherfucking baby boomers and old ass motherfuckers like Joe Scarborough and them hags on Fox News to carry this forward. We got to stop it.
Well, here's my thing with this, because somebody made a good post on Twitter and they were like, you know what? It is about time that Democrats stop trying to go the moral high ground. They got to stop listening to the freaking consultants and people like Joe Scarborough and being fearful of what the media is going to say. This always happens. And so it is the first time in a long time that I have seen a Democrat and their team, because it's not Gavin Newsom is not the person that is tweeting. Let's be clear about this. That his team is fearless. They are brave. They are going after Trump. They are going after people talking shit. They're not just tweeting, capital letters and crazy posts. They actually are pulling receipts on people. You come for Gavin sideways, we're pulling receipts on you. So there has to be, we need fearless people in our party. You cannot worry about what people are going to say or what, yes, there is such a thing to your point about narratives and how people, but Gavin is a big boy. He can handle it. What we need to make sure is that people are out there talking to their family and friends when they bring up these type of things. With my dad, he was like, yo, I love Gavin Newsom. Like this was even before this whole week. He's not on social media later, but he does see it on TikTok because he likes TikTok. So he's not on Twitter. He's not seeing that. But people are, the thing is, they're not doing it on one social media platform. They're doing it on multiple. So also they're even on Facebook. I mean, people are seeing it from different people are carrying the message to Facebook to people to see it. So I think there is a way for us to kind of do that, but we can't beat Gavin down. We also can't do that dumb shit where we're like, oh yeah, Gavin, get your shit together and you got to do better and you shouldn't be like this. Like, shut up with the purity bullshit, please, Lord Jesus.
All right, let me say
I agree, and
three things.
Yeah.
Okay, so number one, what the fuck is MSNBC asking us to do? Oh, we need to talk about affordability. We need to introduce policy, this, and the other. How the fuck we gonna get it passed when we don't have the House and we don't have the Senate? That's number one. Number two, when they're talking about, this purity politics and the moral high ground, and my thoughts on this is when we called, rightfully so, Donald Trump Hitler, I remember them raining down so hard on Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. So much so saying, alleging that their rhetoric was the reason why Trump had an assassination attempt on his life.
And not the fact that he
now
paid
this
somebody
man
to
is in
do
office.
it.
No, this man is in office, and he is literally being Timu Hitler. He has internment camps. He is snatching people up. He is policing DC. He is stopping and setting up these guard posts where you have to go through these checkpoints just to get seen. Right here in the DMV. This man is Hitler, and I have not seen an attempt on this man's life since he's been in office, even though he is truly being Hitler. Okay, that's number three. That's number two. Okay, let's talk about number three as far as Gavin Newsom goes. Gavin Newsom is a narcissist. You cannot say nothing to this motherfucking man, okay, that is going to make him feel shamed at all. This man is a whole narcissist. Do I have my issues with Gavin Newsom? Absolutely. But does that mean that I'm not saying that he's meeting this moment? I'm going to give him credit where credit is due. Absolutely. Am I going to use my platform to beat down this man? Hell fucking no. Allow evil to fight evil. Allow evil to fight evil. Let them two just duke it out. Let them do what they do.
Let them do what they do.
We're not going to sit here and police what Gavin is doing, because anything Gavin does will be no worse than what the fuck Trump is doing.
Yeah, I agree with you. People say, and we're going to answer the question in a moment. I'm going to go back to the question. We had a great question in the chat, and we are going to address the question before we go to the next topic. I want to say that there are people who say things like, Westmore needs to do this, or JB Pritzker needs to do this, or Gretchen Whitmer needs to do this. We were on a call, Kenny, earlier today. I don't know if you made the 12 o'clock call, but that was brought up, and it was kind of like, we're so happy with what Gavin Newsom is doing, but why can't, what about Gretchen? And it was kind of like, she's on the wrong message. Let me say something a little bit.
Yes,
let me give you what privilege is. Let me help you understand people out there who want to see other Democratic governors do what Gavin is doing. Gavin lays in the bed with these people. I'm sorry to say it. I'm sorry to call it out. Okay. But Kenny did it first. So don't fucking get me, motherfuckers. Get him. You get Kenny. Because Kenny said, let evil fight evil. And it is what the fuck it is. Gavin lays in the bed with these people. He was married to Kimberly Guilfoyle Newsom. Okay. He was married to Kimberly Guilfoyle Newsom. That was his wife. So he knows them. He probably knows intimate secrets and details and wrongdoings and has leverage over them that Westmore does not have. And he has a privilege over them or with them that Westmore and Gretchen Whitmer, they don't have. So I want you just to think about that before you demand that these people put their lives on the line to fight against a man who some say shot himself and a person in the crowd to be president. I want you to think about that before you demand that these people put their lives on the line for a man who has promised to prosecute his enemies and are doing so, who has launched in federal investigations against Adam Schiff, federal investigations against Letitia James for simply doing their jobs. So before you say you want to see that happen to Governor Moore, before you say you want to see that happen to Governor Whitmer, understand that Gavin Newsom has a privilege and some leverage that they do not have.
And he also has a white dick, so there's that. And he's got great teeth and great skin and a good slick back.
And tall and handsome. And his wife.
Somebody called him Pitts. They called him President Pitts or whatever they call it from
Fitz, President Fitz. Yes, that's our man from Scandal. But I think to your point, Zach, Gavin has said it himself. He has friends who are Republicans. His mother-in-law and father-in-law are Republican. So he knows how these people think and knows how to kind of play the game. And you need somebody that knows how to play the game. And he is. And he took the time, and the people were pissed off, and it was annoying as hell that he sat down and he talked to crazy ass Steve Bannon, bigot ass Gums Charlie Kirk, and all these people. But I think that Gavin was trying to get some information from them. And these people,
I guess, girl.
you gotta use a little bit of logic once in a while and understand how Gavin thinks. And Gavin is a very calculated person, and he knows exactly what he is trying to do. And if you think that he didn't get to this point by just being, he's a very smart person, and they're trying to compare his IQ to all these other people. But Gavin has their number right now, and they don't know what to do with it. And yes. Oh my God, this is a mess.
So Sister Morgan wants to know. I'm gonna take it down in a minute, but it just
you see this
where we are in the conversation. Are the folks who label themselves as progressive Democrats but are really independents and trying to destroy the Democratic Party? Are they really trying to destroy the Democratic Party from within? Listen, I don't believe that they are progressive Democrats or true leftists. I think that they're plants. I think that they're people who are consigned to destruction. I think that some of them are anarchists and they want to burn it all down. And I definitely don't think that they have the best interest of the Democratic Party or the American people in mind. But what do you guys think, Tiffany and Kenny?
No, I agree. Listen, I have a thing. I talked about it last week or 1 week before that about us uniting. There are people that are anti-Democrat. They are just anti-Democrat. They do not like the Democrats. I read a post yesterday from a guy who said he was a leftist, but he is no longer going to say that he is one because he feels that leftists are actually more anti-Democrat than they are Republican. And so people are waking up to the people that they have been associating with for all this time, when they are literally not even trying to help Democrats through what we have going on. And they are too focused on if Mamdani got an endorsement, or they're focused on talking shit about Democrats. And you have to watch what people say, right? You have to look at the things that people are saying. You could tell who is for and who is against what we got going on. And I always say, if you are anti-Democrat, then you are not for progress at all. So you cannot claim to be a progressive ever, because you don't care about that.
Well, and that's why I was so triggered by what we talked about. I won't say the name again, but that's why I was so triggered previously, because we are fighting against fascism and we're fighting for our lives. And some people don't even realize that. We're fighting for our lives. And many people don't even seem to realize that. And you have time to critique a Democrat. You have time. I mean, really, I've thought about it to myself, like, I don't even give a fuck about the illusion of objectivity and what I'm doing anymore. It's no longer objective. It is no longer objective. It's life and death. And I firmly believe that, and I think one thing I think that got blurred, it didn't get blurred for me, but it got blurred for a lot of people during 2020. A lot of people saw allies, accomplices, and just straight up white people joining in marches and joining in protests because they had been taken too far in what they saw. It wasn't that they weren't racist. And just because you are a liberal, a progressive, a leftist, or a Democrat doesn't mean that you're not racist. And we have to let that go. Fuck it. The people are racist. And damn it, you can stay racist. But right now, we just need you to be on the right side of history for the good of democracy. We need you to be American I don't give a fuck if you're a racist American or you're not a racist American. That's not my battle right now because we have bigger. Listen, I'm telling the whole world, I have bigger problems right now than racism, homophobia, and every other thing that seeks to destroy me. Because ultimately, the assault on American democracy supersedes everything else. In the Maslow hierarchy of needs and the attacks against those needs, what we are living through with fascism supersedes all of that.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, it does. Um, I'll just say this. As far as like the leftists and stuff like that, I don't even address them anymore. I don't even. They're not on my radar. I've blocked pretty much all of them for the most part. I don't even try to, engage. The problem is they want the engagement. They want you to go to them, and the problem is when you go to them and give them that little sense of engagement, what happens is you're pushing more people to see their toxic rhetoric. So you have to disengage with these people. Otherwise, you might lose more than actually gain by
And we're
actually.
uplifting their platforms too. By
That's
engaging with them, we're giving them air. We're letting them continue to grow and to continue to expand their platforms. Luckily today, there was not a lot of air that could be given as JD Vance and Pete Hegseth were heckle and Stephen Miller, but who the fuck cares? I mean, look at Stephen Miller in the back.
He's
Look
so
at Stephen.
sweet.
Look at
He was
38.
happy.
Look at 38-year-old Stephen Miller in his suit.
I call him Pocket Fascist. That's his new name, by the way, Pocket
A
Fascist,
little
because he
pocket,
likes
and
to.
he is 39 years old. When I saw that man was only 38, 39 years old, I almost fell out. But today, they went to take a tour and see the National Guard troops who are in Union, who are patrolling and looking on in Union Station. And when they got there, Kenny, this is what happened.
Our Congresswoman from New York 21.
Oh, wrong one. That's Elise Stefanik. My bad. Yeah, this is kind of what happened.
A round of heckling and boos followed Vice President Vance. He arrived to see National Guard troops at Washington's Union Station.
You can actually bring law and order to communities. You just got to have the political willpower to do it.
Nearly 2,000 Guard members will be on the streets, many from 6 Republican-led states. The troops are still not carrying firearms or making arrests, but today we're manning posts near monuments and along the D.C. subway system, which Leroy Thorpe, who leads a community.
Now we'll come back. Can you guys? Am I still cutting out? Am I good?
No, you're good. So
I put the little thing in. I think maybe it was short. I had some work done in my room, and maybe I'll turn the camera as you see. I had a wall put in for like other type of content I'm making, so I could be like Kenny. So Kenny has a new creative wall back there. I also have a wall of sorts too, but for TikTok and Instagram and like the short form content. In addition to that, he also was called a couch fucker multiple times as he went into Shake Shack. And shout out to the man in Shake Shack because he was unrelenting in calling this man a couch fucker. Kenny, you're gonna add in?
So I just want to talk about so who they were heckled by because they are out there 24/7 all days of the week. It's called Flare. They're called the for Liberation and Resistance Everywhere. They have a tent set up outside the Union Station, and when I tell you they're doing some real good work, they show up to the Heritage Foundation.
Can we donate?
Actually, you can. I'll give you all the information as soon as I find that little clip they gave me when I was out there with Elizabeth Booker. So they're constantly out there protesting, organizing. When we got the news that they were going to be sending National Guard to start snatching, the unhoused off the streets. What they were doing is they were handing out whistles that they were giving the homeless people, letting them know, like, if something happens or if somebody tries to detain you, blow this whistle, then we will come. So that's what Flair is doing. And they were out there. They're out there every day. So I don't know what the fuck JD Vance was even thinking about, because I know they see this huge ass tent that says fuck Donald Trump right outside Union Station. So I don't know why he thought that he was going to get a warm welcome, especially from Flair.
Well, Kenny and Tiffany, I'm gonna move to you. But Kenny, I think a part of it is what you're gonna see next in this video when your auntie walked up in there. But Tiffany, and then I'm gonna show y'all Kenny's auntie.
So I think the best part of that whole interview that JD Vance and Stephen Miller were doing was they were very upset. And we talked about this last week about who was protesting. They were pissed off because it was white people who
That's
were
right.
protesting.
And
And
that's
now
who
they're like, oh, there's the 90-year-old people. There was not 90-year-old people there. First of all, these are white people who were out there, and I have a name for them. I call them the good whites. So hope nobody's offended by that, but I call them the good whites. And we actually had, and there was actually nationwide protest this weekend against Donald Trump. And I actually went, I didn't go to it, but I passed by it because we had one in Annapolis here. And I was like, you know what, let me go do my little morning run and see who goes out there. Child, I ain't seen not a black or brown person. It was all white people, young and old, out there at 9 o'clock in the morning protesting Donald Trump. Okay. These people are very upset. And I need that to happen all over the place.
every
Because
day.
remember what we talked about last week
Yeah.
about the
That's
about
how you
subway guys.
defeat it. That's how you defeat fascism. This is how you do it. The
It's
people.
the only way.
It's
Yep,
the
and Flair is
only
out there,
way.
child.
But let me show you what's not the way. Is Kenny Auntie right here.
What is this?
And you can tell that's an auntie by the beard dye. Up. Hold on. Up. Jesus.
Says will help. You think if Thorpe, who leads a community DC subway system, which Leroy Thorpe, who leads a community neighborhood watch group, says will help. You think it's effective to have National Guard on the subway?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, because the subway presents a public safety issue for law-abiding citizens that are coming to or going from work.
But DC's
Yo,
mayor
do-rag matching his beard.
is unnecessary.
We know that crime has gone down in our city, and it has gone down precipitously over the last 2 years.
The Department of Justice has launched an investigation into DC's crime data, which the administration has called fake.
You just got to look around. Obviously, DC has a terrible crime problem. The Department of Justice statistics back it up. The FBI statistics back it up.
Tom Dupree is a former Justice Department official in the George W. Bush administration.
Might there be a political motivation for that?
I think there could be. In other words, right now there is a very public debate about the need for enhanced federal patrolling in the streets of DC and the use of federal law enforcement resources to stop local crime. And I think the factual backdrop this is all playing out against is crime in DC getting better or worse? And that's where the battle of the statistics comes in.
Even as the White House champions the number of people arrested for having illegal guns, the Department of Justice says it's easing its prosecutions of people for possessing long guns or rifles here. The gun rights groups that long champion President Trump are heralding as a victory.
Bullshit.
And not only was JD Vance and P. Hegseth heckled, but so too was Elise Stefanik. And I just briefly, I'm going to show that. But I want to say to Grindle, we got some great people who are joined us in, and they're giving us Grindle. You're right. You are. Oh my God, you're so right. The Democrats upheld slavery and the Confederates, and we're all going to vote Republican because of it. Because it doesn't matter how we're being treated in 2025. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the Republican Party is building concentration camps, and it doesn't matter the Republican Party is fucking over all the people in America and fucking up the economy in ways that we can't even imagine. None of that matters because of what the Democrats did back in 1840.
My question is, if that's the damn
Do you
problem,
feel seen? Do you feel justified? Do you feel valid? Do you feel good, Grindle? I hope you do. Kenny.
girl, but what in the red ruby the sleeves? I'm talking about Leroy. What the fuck was that we just saw?
Aunt Leroy, that's your auntie. Aunt Leroy,
who did they pick? So who was that man that they found in the subway station that they needed to actually have as representation? Because he probably the only black person who says that yes, we want military down on the streets to make us feel safe. Child, that's a fucking lie. It does not work. Black people do not want to be over policed. I'm seeing videos after video after video of black people constantly being harassed now that we have this type of police presence. We don't want this shit. We never wanted this shit. We just wanted community policing. We want police officers to represent and look exactly like the communities that they serve. That's what we want. We want harm reduction. We want, smart on crime initiatives. We want people to worry about harm reduction as much as they care about incarceration. That's what we want.
And none of that, and all of that's off the table. That's not what they're talking about. Now, here's what Elise.
Our Congresswoman from New York 21, Elise
That's what it sounded like outside the Government Center building in Plattsburgh Monday, where the late Clayton County Clerk John Zerlo was honored for his more than 5 decades of service to the community.
Poor
But
John.
among the spectators, some people opted to protest their Congresswoman's appearance. Stefanik stepped up to address the crowd twice. Both times, the protesters booed her.
Elise has not shown up in our district in months and months. She won't hold a town hall. She won't take questions. She's never at her office.
Stefanik stayed behind after the event to weigh in on the protests.
Today's event was about honoring John Zerlo. It is a disgusting disgrace that this is what the far left does, rather than understanding that his family has been through a tremendous amount. It was about honoring his legacy.
And again, we had, and those were just 2 examples of Republicans being booed this week, but people want to highlight.
There's more, and I have another one. Harriet
Hagman.
Hagman got booed too. You know, George Santos' mother. She got booed. So yeah, come on. You never see Harriet? Harriet looked like George Santos' mama.
She looked, and didn't Harriet literally? Did she curse? I think she
was
let a curse word out.
She
flipped the curse word. Like she was so heated at being booed that she cursed on the mic. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, these people are very upset, and I think that's why I feel like Democrats kind of have to move away from if this is a Democrat thing, this is a American thing. People are going to suffer. They are not happy with the economy, and that's what drives our politics. Let's be real. Inflation is everything is high. Okay. Everything. I go to the store, groceries are super high. I'm looking at houses, the housing is high, the interest rates are high. I mean, all of this stuff is it's just a ticking time bomb of people just ready to explode. And we're starting to see the early signs of it. And it's not us. We are very upset, but we are not the ones out there protesting. Like I said, it's the good whites that are very upset because this is going to impact them. And it's only the beginning because we know that Medicaid and all this other stuff. When people get their letters about their ACA and how much they're going to have to pay for it come January, they're going to be real pissed off because their insurance is going to increase. And the dollars that people are bringing home are shrinking. And that means that people are going to be more and more upset. So yeah, we are in a bad place, and it's only gonna get worse. And Republicans, they keep sugarcoating it. They want to put a Band-Aid on it and pretend like, oh, this is just this is temporary or it's gonna pass. No, it's not. It's gonna get worse.
But
and people
don't you believe that they're seeing it? Like that's where I'm at today.
They do see it. That's why they're trying to steal this election. That's why they're trying to take them seats. They can't win any other way. They can't win off of their platform or win off of their policies because they know people ain't fucking stupid. So they gotta steal it.
And so when we talk about resisting, it's what the 90-year-old hippies are doing. And even if let's just pretend they were 90-year-old hippies. They are doing this because they know where this ends. They've lived through it. They've seen it before. And they're fighting back. I think that is the way you resist. I think they don't get a moment's peace. Like JD Vance goes to England to take his family to a $10,000 a day Airbnb. You protest it. Donald Trump goes to Scotland to play golf and support his golf club. You're protested. That is what I think is a key part of the people's work and the people's resistance is that they don't let up and they continue to push it forward. And then the next level of work is that we know they're going to try to steal the 2026 election like they stole the 2024 election. We have got to register voters in mass numbers and get them out. And I don't think those efforts are happening across the country in Democratic areas the way they should. But that is the work that we need to be doing, is committing to getting out there and finding voters and finding voters and finding voters.
Yeah, that's what we got to do, child. And I don't know if you saw it, but they're trying to cancel mail-in ballots, child. What the fuck? My question.
Well, they passed an executive order that has no power, but a number of states will use that as a way of leveraging power over the people.
Like,
That's
they
what
don't
they do.
understand. Like, when it comes to mail-in ballots, mail-in ballot is probably the easiest way of voting, period. Especially,
That's the
like, let's say
point.
if you have a disability. Let's say if you're a military and you're overseas, obviously you want to be able to vote. For my military people that love to vote Republican, they're trying to take your vote away from you. So and my other question is, what is this gonna do about, like, how does this help Big Bag MAGA Mom 45 on Twitter? She's
It
big and
doesn't.
she can't leave the house. She's bigger than, Gilbert. What's eating Gilbert Grapes mama? Can't even get out the house. They got to pull the bulldozer to get her out. So how is this gonna help y'all?
It's not, and they
It's
know it's
not.
not. They know it's not.
Listen, in 2024, okay, let's go back to 2020. A
Yeah,
lot of
take it
people,
back.
a lot of people that were Democrats, independents, more people voted, even Republicans, in 2020 because we were in COVID. So a lot of people got used to voting that way. But in 2024, the number of Democrats who voted by mail, absentee ballot, whatever you want to call it, diminished because people were actually able to go to the polls, and a lot of more people voted early, so that's a good thing. And then people showed up on election day. And more Republicans in Pennsylvania voted by mail because it's convenience. We got to be honest. And this is what Donald Trump wants to avoid. He said it out of his big ass mouth. He said that he wants to stop Democrats from doing it because he thinks this is a Democratic thing. It is not about Democrats. This is a convenience thing for voters,
That's
period.
right.
He himself has voted by mail. So it is bullshit. But this is the narrative that he wants to perpetuate because he himself is using a Russian talking point. This is information that he got from Putin at his meeting, where Putin told him, yeah, the election was stolen. And you know what my theory is? Putin was trying to steal that election for him, but because
Work.
Democrats and independents and Republicans too voted in mass numbers, guess what? They couldn't cheat. But in 2024, guess what? We didn't show up. So they had an opportunity to then be able to do whatever they were doing on the back end. And they were able to manipulate people, whether you want to take it from the social media or you want to, or people that there are people that really think that the voting machines and all kinds of stuff was rigged. I'm not that person, but there are people who believe that. There is a lot here. But what I think that Donald Trump is trying to do is he is trying to set up again 2026 to then say, oh, they're rigging the elections. Now, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put all of these military people in these cities to try to intimidate people from
That's
not voting.
That's right. That's what we're going to go back to, the 1960s, pre-civil rights, people outside of polling places with guns and militarized, scaring people and causing them to not want to go and vote. It's absolutely going to happen. It's
And you're
absolutely.
taking mail-in ballots away, so therefore, or attempting to try to intimidate
There won't
people
be
from
any
not, you know,
way, yeah, that you can vote
you have
other.
no choice. You have no choice but to show up to the ballot, and then you're gonna be like, well, I'm not gonna vote. I mean, there's like a lot. There's a lot to this. Will it happen? There's gonna be a lot of lawsuits. I mean, this is how it's gonna go. But I mean, we're in a bad place, guys. We really are.
Add in your apostrophe and your E at the end of your dumbass.
Look, all I know is that to all my little revolutionaries out there, and to the people who told folks to vote third party and said that, I want to be, the next leader. I want to be the next revolutionary. I want to be the next Martin Luther King. Okay, I want to be the next Rosa Parks. Child, I never wanted to do this shit. This is so avoidable by voting. And I don't understand why we have to fight a battle that had already been won. That's what's really frustrating the fuck out of me, is that we were literally standing on the shoulders of our ancestors that paved the way for us to be able to have the freedoms that we have today and not make it so hard for the next generation. That was the purpose. And all we had to do is maintain it by continuously voting. But for those who constantly take that vote for granted and believe that, oh, well, this doesn't really matter, child, you have the ability to say that it doesn't matter because of what people did, because of the blood that was spilled from all those civil rights activists, including the ones that aren't even with us today. Like the levels of privilege that I see from the younger generation, particularly my generation, like younger millennials and even some Gen Z. I don't understand where this line of thinking comes from. As a young child, I didn't have an option to sit out. I didn't. My mom wasn't playing that shit. She forced me into politics. I am a product of what my mom forced me into. I would be watching TV. She would just come change the motherfucking channel and make me watch the damn news.
Yeah,
and we didn't continue that with future generations.
Yeah, but I the thing is I see that, but I have a 25-year-old and she comes with me to vote, right? So I think like I said, it's a level of privilege, and you got to remember, I think to the question that was earlier about some of these people that are so-called progressives, a lot of them, their parents are Republicans. Let's be real about this.
And that's what I'm saying. You don't have shit to say to any Republican or to any Democrat in America. Do you hear me? You don't have shit to say to any Democrat in America when you haven't done your homework. You want to sit here and criticize the Harris campaign. You want to sit here and talk about any Democrat on a national stage when you haven't done your homework. You criticize your motherfucking mom and your goddamn daddy before you sit here and say shit about Joe and Kamala. And that's what they don't want to hear. And I can't say it enough. I might make a damn TikTok about it tonight.
Okay, come on, Chapel Rowan, Chapel Hill,
Chapel Hill, right. And we are not going to omit the Target news. People, this is another form of resistance that is an essential part of our strategy. Target immediately made the choice to capitulate to Donald Trump and do away with DEI initiatives. They could not wait to wash their hands of Black, brown, and queer people when this man became president. Could not wait. And they were so excited, thinking that they would gain a whole new clientele and it would become the darling store of America. But that did not happen. Since Target dropped, well, I'll just show you what happened.
Baby, he's done. He's gone. He's out of there. Question is, are you still done with Target now that he won't be there? Target CEO Brian Cornell is stepping down after more than a decade of up. One of America's most trusted brands. I know Target was my favorite big box retailer. Now I consider them deplorable trash. This leadership change comes amid persistent declines. And sales and significant criticism of Target's retreat from its diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. And this is where Target had us all up. Within weeks of the DEI rollbacks, market value dropped by $12.4 billion and the stock price fell over $27 per share. Target saw a 3.1% drop in Q2 2025 sales and a significant decline in foot traffic. In total, some sources attribute more than $15 billion in lost revenue and a plunge in share price, all related to their decision to drop DEI. So, baby, he's gone. But his replacement is the current COO, a 20-year Target vet, who was in the room when these decisions were made in the first place. So are we about to go back or not?
And that's the new background, Kenny, that I had installed in.
I love that. I love that. What is that?
I'm glad. So somebody just asked, do we have? Yes, you can follow us right here. And then a good friend came in. It's Mighty Marsha of MAGA. 25 watching. Well, actually, Mighty Marsha is 178 people. We have 113 on Twitter. We have 8 on Candidly Tiff, 39 on Kenny, and 18 for me. But we actually, so the 25, guess what it's going to be now for your ass? It's going to be a damn 24 because you're blocked. You're blocked, honey. You're out of here. You'll never see us again, MAGA Marsha. Go wash your hair and your ass. Kenny, you were saying?
But no, I love the background. I like that.
It's a nice color.
Are we going back to Target, people?
No.
I ain't been to Target in a minute. I don't know what the hell's going on over there.
Listen,
we going back to Target. Be truthful, y'all. Be truthful, even in the comments. Have you gone to Target? Be truthful, don't fucking lie. Have you gone to Target since the boycott? And are you more inclined to go back now they've switched out the CEO?
Listen, I've been to Target 3 times since January. And when I say that on a Sunday afternoon, Target used to be lit, okay? It was the spot. People were shopping. I was in there buying my hair products, buying all kinds of stuff
for the week.
Yeah, my stuff for the week, it was the whole thing, right? I was looking forward to this. I hit up my stores. That's one of my stores. I hit that up. I have gone to Target 3 times, and the last time that I went in there to get something because they didn't have it nowhere else, and I was like, you know what? I gotta go open this joint. It was sad. It
It
was
was sad.
sad.
Happy as hell.
There was literally no one in there.
It was
And
desolate.
yes, it was pathetic because honestly, the people that used to be in there every weekend were people that looked like us. And it was also
Yeah,
white folks in there,
it was.
right? And people just aren't going there it, DEI, whatever people, I think there's multiple reasons, but I feel like the DEI thing is definitely the top
Yeah.
reason. Why? Because
They did
people,
everything they could. Like I
yeah,
don't even know if people realize how hard Target tried. So after this became a national call for boycotts, Target met multiple times with civil rights leaders. That didn't yield what they wanted. Target had a collaboration with what's that purse maker? It's a purse maker. They had a really cute collaboration with Kate
yeah,
Spade.
Gwen told
They
me
had a
about that.
collaboration with Kate Spade. They just knew that was going to bring the white girlies to the yard. That didn't spark shit. That didn't happen. They had like special cups and shit made from Stanley and all that. That didn't make a difference. They then went to influencers and they hired black influencers and got them riled up like Hassanat. That didn't make a difference. The final thing that I believe was this CEO's last ditch effort was his plans to do $5 back to school prices. He had Target had the lowest, the cheapest, the like literally giving away school supplies for the new school year. And clearly, even though we don't know the financial outcome, clearly it didn't work. Clearly, it didn't increase foot traffic, and clearly signs are there that that was also a fail. And they're not going to be able to turn this around. And they're looking at maybe getting rid of the CEO will help them at Christmas time. You can be a failing big market retailer all year long, but turn it around from back to school to Christmas. And I'm telling people, we got to stay vigilant and not go back to Target. I was someone who would go to Target at least 3 times a week. Target was where I would go, yeah, 3 times a week. Like I was a Target person. Like I like going to Target for all type of shit, bullshit, just looking around and buying random garbage, like
Me
cups and
too.
shit. But I have not gone back since the boycott started, which of course I know y'all know that, right? Like I know there's no doubt about my boycott.
We already know.
We already know you stick to your shit.
That's right. Just ask Chick-fil-A.
It's a hell no. Okay, that's that Scorpio. Hell no, Scorpio. Okay.
Hell no, Scorpio. But we have to be strong in the last quarter of the year and not go at Christmas time. They're gonna give you great deals. They're gonna give you probably sales better than any other retailer. No, fuck you. You made a choice to turn your back on the right thing to do. We're not going back.
But here's my thing. What going to once people realize that they can get the same things in different stores. Now there are some things that I can't get in other stores. So like my husband, he loves their damn razors, right? So I'm not gonna get that nowhere else. So I have, like I said, I've gone 3 times, and 2 of those times was because of him, because he
Are
wants
you
them
buying
damn razors.
like mass bulk of razors?
Right, yeah. So I just buy like 10 packs of it. That lasts for like, a good couple weeks. Like that lasts because he uses one every day. But anyways, but what I think is happening is that what people were going to Target for, let's say, like you said, we buy random shit in Target, right? I will buy like I'll go in there and I'll get sheets, or I'll go in some section and I'll go just goods, like just
Yeah.
paper goods, right? So just toilet
Sheets,
paper,
towel, cups.
yeah, all that stuff. You can get that in other places. And so
Like
I don't
other stuff,
need
like
to
you
go
said,
there.
Tiffany, they're the exclusive seller. Like I would get the Target men's athletic wear, like the shorts and the shirts, and they last so long. I mean, they're so good. Those type of I mean, there's no other whatever the brand is, there's no other brand. Goodfellas, I think maybe is a brand. I don't, but whatever the brand is, nobody has it. But it's okay. I'm just doing without.
I don't give
Yeah,
a fuck
and
about
that's what
Target.
people do.
Like, this is the
Yeah.
thing. I got a backslider ass over in that motherfucking room in there. That damn Danny. Now, he has not been in Target because I've been fighting him. I've been taking the damn keys. We've been
You
sharing
want to go
cars.
to Target?
He
Happy
want to
birthday,
go so
Danny.
bad. You know why he wants to go?
Danny had a
Because
birthday yesterday.
they have a collaboration with Wicked coming out, and there's nothing that I can do to stop him from going in there. And Zach, you already know he is a Wicked fanatic, and he's going to be in that store. I will not be. I don't
Is
know how he's
Target the
going to
only
get to
place
the
you can
store.
buy it?
No, I don't know where. No, because they have like these collaborations where it's going to be exclusives. So he's going to have some exclusives really just for Target. And I don't know how he's going to get there. He's going to have to get there on the bus because he's not taking my damn car.
Well, hopefully we can find whatever he's looking for. Let me see it, and I'll see if I can find in alternative places for Danny. Danny had a birthday. Happy birthday, Danny. It was yesterday. And Tiffany had an anniversary.
Yeah. No, it was Phil's birthday. Phil and Danny have the same exact birthday.
It was Phil's birthday?
It was Phil's birthday.
Yesterday?
Yes, they have the same exact birthday.
That is.
I don't know that. I don't know that we both have these Leos that we got to deal with, but they damn temperamental asses. Okay.
And we gotta. They want to go to damn Target to get some shit. That's what's sad about it.
Well, razors and wicked. If it's just that one thing for one time, I will let it slide. But I know I won't be there. I will not be there. What I will be doing is making donations to Flair. I will be making donations to Representative Ann Johnson and Representative Nicole Collier. And I'll be making a donation to the DSCC, because Democratic fundraising is at an all-time low. That's something else that we have to think about and talk about. And that's the way that the platforms are also working. Republicans are raising 10 times more money than the amount that's going into Democrats. And you're going to all see the impact of that soon. With the big election coming up in California for their voters to choose whether or not they're going to redistrict, the people have to vote. Gavin Newsom can't just do it by sheer willpower. And the Republicans are planning a massive campaign to tear it all down. And they're going to go balls to the walls with their spending. So we're going to actually see if we can finally get Democratic donors to come back to the table. But I definitely want to put that on everybody's radar. We are now at the time. We start at 10. We end at 11. Any final words, people?
So who do y'all think that are they going to be replacing their CEO with for Target? I know y'all.
They already replaced him.
No, they already did.
So who?
It's a man who's been there for 20 years. It's the current COO. He is a white man who looks a little bit like Scott Bessent. He's been there for 20 years, and now he's going to be the new CEO. It's not like they're actually doing anything to create real change. They're only switching people. This is a PR stunt, PR move to make you say, like KFC, you want the widgets here? Damn. That's all it is.
Crazy. Okay, so I have one before we go. So before I came on here, I was watching Gavin Newsom did an interview with Jasmine Crockett.
Oh yeah.
So that was released earlier today.
Was it good?
It's very good. He asked her some really good questions. He let her talk. He didn't even, honestly, only thing Gavin did was ask questions. Jasmine went off. She went off on every question for like 5-7 minutes. She just went off on the whole thing. So no, he asked her some really good questions. It's like an hour long, but it was really good. I recommend you guys listen to it. She kind of talked through, like, he asked her about the Senate and if she was willing to run for that. He asked her some really good questions about her future. And even the GOP attacking her, like what she thought about that, and I thought she did really well in the interview, and it kind of gave me some insight onto her thinking, and I think you guys would appreciate it. So I say y'all watch it.
I'm gonna go watch.
Yeah,
it's like 50 minutes. It's not long, but it's like I said, it's a really she talks a lot. I mean, Jasmine could talk.
She's long-winded, but yeah.
And she talked, okay? All Gavin is doing is sitting there like this. Mm-hmm. And then he goes to his next question. He didn't even try. He was like, okay, like, you just talk. I'm gonna give you the floor and you just talk. And she did. So no, it was really good. That's all I got.
I'll check it out. I'll give it a listen tomorrow when I'm in the car traveling for work. So, all right, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us. And we will see you next week.
Bye, y'all.